Hi, this is Ed with Whitestone Journal. I'm actually writing this for a friend that I was talking to today on Messenger, and it's about using time and school and work and a bunch of other stuff and the problems of getting things done. So there's a few things here. You know, if you work at a place like fast food or a clerk in a market, uh, maybe a warehouse job, there's a lot of jobs where you pretty much what you do, you don't really get to make very many decisions. You just more or less do the work, and you put in your time, and when you're done, you clock out and you go home. There's other jobs where and this has to do with how much they pay. The more they pay, the more you have to decide what to do. The more you have to manage your time. You know, if you're working at a counter in a burger place, and I did that for a short time, very short time. You really don't have a lot of decisions to make. You take the order, you try to greet people, be kind to them, and then the next person comes up and you do that. And at some point, somebody says, "Okay, it's time to go take a break." You go take a break, and they say, "Okay, it's time to come back," or it's time to come back, and then you go do it again. But you don't really decide what to do. You don't go into the place and say, today I think I'm going to make a different kind of sandwich than ever has been made before, and that's what I'm going to sell. If you have your own sandwich store someday, then you can do that. That'd be really cool. But generally, you get paid the more decisions you make, the more freedom you have, and the more you have to manage your own time. So what happens sometimes is that we don't manage time well. I certainly don't. And then we get behind, and then we try to make it up at the last minute. And of course, that's really, really not something that works well. Either the quality really drops, or we just don't get it done. It's just too long. I can't tell you the number of times that friends or children or myself have had something that we knew about for 2 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever, and waited till the last minute to do it. And sometimes it just can't be done. Now, there's two reasons this happens. One is we can get to it until the very last moment, and then it's just too late. The other thing is sometimes we put it off, and then at the last minute something happens, and that thing that happens makes it impossible. So then we blame it on the thing and say, "Oh, well, this happened and that messed me all up." No, because you wouldn't have got it done anyway. You just are kidding yourself that you would have got it done. So how do we get around this? I mean, obviously the trick is to work at it every day ahead of time, and not to overdo it, but plan it out and say, "Okay, it's going to take me this long, and if it's going to take me this long, then I know I've got to work on it for 3 hours a day, let's say." Okay, but what if you don't know how long it's going to take, or if you're really bad at estimating that? Then you front load it. Then you set it up that you work as hard as you can, as hard as you can stand, as early as you can, and you try and get it done early. And then if you get it done, great. A lot of the time, as we say, time expands to fill the amount we have. So if we know that we have a week, it will take us a week most of the time. This is elapsed time, not meaning how much work we put in. It's amazing how often something that should take 3 hours can take us a week. And this is issues of self-discipline. It's something that I really struggle with. But the other thing is, look honestly at how long you're really working on it. And so being a little more specific in school. Look, maybe you're somebody that likes women. Maybe you're a woman that likes guys. I don't know. That takes an awful lot of time. It just, a lot of time mooning around, and feeling bad. Oh, I want to ask her out. I want to ask him out. I want him to ask me out. Just a lot of that. And that just eats away time. Having problems with family, having people, friends or family that are being difficult. Somebody says a cross word that can throw us into a tailspin and we can't get anything done for days. Boy, I really understand. But we have to get this under control or we can't get things done. So if you're sitting there and you don't know what to do right now, think about what do you have to do? What is it that what thing needs to be done? You say, well, I'm out of school right now. There's nothing to do. You can read. Reading really makes us more capable in just about everything. It's a way of getting the mind to focus. read whatever, read scripture, read a good book. If you can't think of one, ask me. I'll assign you a book. We can talk and do a book report that way. But you got to do something. The trick is to take action. When I feel really, really depressed and I'm really having a hard time getting work done, I try to find something that's fairly simple to do. Sometimes it's kind of a brainless activity, something that just takes time. Cleaning something, or in my case today, I had about 130 tasks on a schedule that I had to put times on, and it's just a manual task, and it's just mind-numbingly boring. But it's not that many, and I just worked on it. I just kept putting them in. I have to do them, and I've put it off. So I put those in. I got them all done. Did some other stuff with them afterward, and then it had some problems, so I had to go back and fix that. But I mean, at least it got me moving, and then I did the harder things after I was kind of warmed up on those. So that was good. But the trick here is, you know you have to do it. You got to get to it, and you need to get to it sooner. And the other thing is to write down what you did during the day. Keep a log of it. Not every day, but pick some days and write it down. And you'll find there's a lot of times it's like, oh yeah, sat on the couch for 2 hours looking at the top 10 reasons why something I found on Facebook, or looking through Instagrams, or goodness knows what. It's just, C.S. Lewis says in Screwtape Letters, I believe, that people can spend a lot of time really just losing time, just thinking about they know not what. And that somebody that in the book that is in hell says, I now realize that I did neither what I wanted to do nor what I should have done. I didn't do either one of those. And I can tell you, sitting here right now in traffic, that's largely true for me. There's a lot of things that I would have liked to have done that I never did. I'll never do them now. It's too late. And a lot of things that I should have done, I definitely did not do. And I pay the price in guilt every day, and sadness. Just makes the depression deeper, trust me. So hopefully something in the air helps. Maybe I'll do another one another day. But I know it's hard. You can write me for support, but ultimately you got to do it. Oh, I'm sorry, one more thing is, look, once you get in that spot, then you say it's all hopeless, there's nothing I can do. No, it's not hopeless. There's more stuff to come. There's always more stuff to come. I mean, unless you're on your deathbed, there's going to be a chance to redeem yourself. So once you realize it's too late and you're failing, continue to work, try to make your deadline, and knowing that you'll fail, it's okay, fail. But it's better to keep moving and force yourself to move. And then afterward, move on the next one. And every time say, I'm not going to let that happen again, and mean it. And you go to the next one and do it. But don't look back. So if you've got a year of school to go, don't say, well, I already blew it. I know I can't graduate, so I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to give up. You got a whole year. And if you're going to have to make something up afterward, if you are going to make something up afterward, or if you're going to take your GED, it's going to help to have the education. So keep working. Sometimes we cut a break. Sometimes it happens. But if it doesn't, what kind of person are we if we just give up? And you're going to waste a year out of your life? That doesn't make any sense. What happens someday when you go to work? And work doesn't go well, you can't just say, well, I'm never working again. No, you gotta work. I mean, if you're going to work, you can't say, oh, I've lost some jobs. You lose a job, you can't say, fine, I'm never going to work again. No, you have to go and find another one. You got to try it again. And you fail, and I have. You fail, you get up, you try again. And you just keep doing that. You keep pounding your head against the wall until the wall breaks. Because humans are marvelous creatures. And if we pound our head against something long enough, it tends to give. We tend to find a job we can really do. We tend to finally graduate. There are people who went to college for 6, 7, 8 years and they finally graduated. It happens. There's people that dropped out of high school and went off, got their GED and got a job. I know somebody that did that. It's pretty remarkable. He did it. There's people that work these things out. It's all about having the strength of character. And you get strength of character, by having strength of character. Now, of course, I believe that praying helps a lot, and praying for God's help makes a difference. And I have failed a lot in my life, and I keep going, which is probably annoying to many people. It annoys me. But you gotta keep going. You can't stop. I like the movie Galaxy Quest. Never give up, never surrender. Anyway, Ed Rushman, Whitestone Journal.